We did it, guys. We're here at episode 2. Woo! We did this thing.
We're just doing this all in the same day. This is just 5 minutes later.
No, it's actually a week later, which is weird.
Survived in
Yeah.
a week since the last one.
Yeah.
Surprising. I didn't think I'd make it this far.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought we'd all just kind of keel over. But guess since we're here, we better start drinking some beer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the company tonight is Great Lakes Brewing Company. We got a variety pack from them. So this is
Wait, I got to read that one.
oh yeah. Here. Let me pour it. I'm gonna pour it.
Okay.
And then you can read it for us.
Ready.
It's clear.
It's very clear. Oh, here.
Oh, this is the Dortmunder Gold Lager.
It is.
It's known for winning medals worldwide.
Worldwide.
And that's all I'm going to read from the back, so you can just make your own story off of that.
All right. Not much of a description, I don't see. That's all right.
Does have a nice Surgeon General warning on it, though. I like that one.
That's usually on all of them.
Yeah, I like them. My favorite part.
Gives you something to read while you're drinking.
Yeah.
So very much a lager. Very clear.
I like the smell. It smells like my kind of beer.
Yep. It does smell like your kind of beer, Kyle.
It's very clean smelling.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's give
Smells like water with a single hop in it.
we'll give it a try. Ooh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, the initial taste is like really like clean and smooth.
Yeah.
It's more complex than
Yeah.
I was expecting.
Me too. I didn't expect this.
No, it's nice.
Like, I know it's not exactly what it tastes like, but my mind immediately goes to straw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. I do taste some hops, but
They're right at the back there.
yeah,
No, yeah,
it's not too bad though.
just a little bit of bitterness, not a ton.
No,
It's a very pleasing hoppiness.
I can enjoy it, so it's not that bitter.
Yeah,
And yeah, no, I'm a fan of this.
very drinkable.
I don't even know what to compare this to.
I don't know.
I like it.
I agree. I would recommend picking this one up.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's the percent on that?
5.8.
Oh, wow.
That's 30 IBUs.
Oh, I love that about Great Lakes Brewing Co. They put the IBUs on the label for all their beer. It's really nice.
I'm finding like the brewing companies that I like the most tend to put that on, just because I care about bitterness. IBUs, for those who don't know, stand for International Bittering Units.
I didn't know that.
Oh, there you
If you're
go.
dumb like me, they have a little picture of hops right by that, so you know. Oh yeah.
So, no, that's cool. 30. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought it was a lower number. So the lower the number, the less bitterness.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's good though. Anything else to say about this beer?
No, just a nice, good beer.
Cool.
Pretty good. Won some medals for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. We're going to move on to the next beer. Do you want to introduce it? I'm going to pour it first.
Sure.
Cool.
So, on to beer number 2. This is the Great Lakes Brewing Co. Elliot Ness Amber Lager.
Yep. Amber Lager.
Yeah. Has a pretty cool picture of a dude on the front. I think it's named after like a
Elliot Ness.
Prohibition agent guy whose name was Elliot Ness. Yes.
Well, I hope so. Just a little tidbit there. What do you got to say about that?
Oh, yeah. History's most famous agent of Prohibition. I did not know that. So that's kind of like the biggest slap in the face ever. Just put his face on there and be like, you ruined beer for a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, Prohibition.
Made a lot of things better, too, though. A lot of good things came out of it.
What good things came out of
They
it?
made all kinds of crazy stuff.
They did. They made all kinds of crazy liquor.
Bootleg liquor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's take a look at it. Oh, it's it's a lager. Obviously, it's going to be clear.
It's an amber lager. It is very clear. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Almost looks like maple syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a iced tea kind of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iced tea. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that smell.
Yeah.
Reminds me of things.
It's malty.
Yeah, a little bit of malt.
What's it remind you of?
Reminds me of drinking a lot of Yingling.
Well, Yingling is an amber lager. I
true.
misspoke last episode when I talked about the Yingling Golden Pilsner. I said it was like their amber ale. I should have said amber lager. Yeah.
Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Let's give it a try. Oh, yeah.
I've had this one before. I really like it.
It's not bad.
Me too. Has like the maltiness kind of
It's very
reminds me
gentle.
of pretzels a little bit.
Okay, I'm with you. Yep.
Yeah.
As far as like a darker beer goes, it's very gentle.
Yeah.
Very gentle. That's a good description, yeah.
It is gentle. It's kind of, to me, like, nobody's going to relate to this at all. But at the end of hunting season, or a day of hunting, we would cut the deer up in our garage. And I remember one year we got this variety pack. And I remember drinking this beer while we were doing that. And so now I'm taken back to like hanging out in the garage doing stuff like that.
Have that memory. Mm-hmm. I think according to the label, this is a little more bitter than the Dortmunder.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much. Oh no, it's actually less bitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 27.
Okay, so it's pretty close though. So the other one was 30.
Yeah, other one was 30.
But I don't taste the bitterness as much. The malt
No,
kinda
yeah.
brings it down.
I taste
Yeah.
barely any bitterness in this.
I think that specialty malt, like all the crystal grains, really just toned it down and mellowed it out. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I kind of get that pretzely vibe too.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I've had other beers that are like a similar style. I don't get quite as much of the pretzel vibe. Like maybe this one's just a little more malty
Yeah.
than most that I'm used to, but
It's clean tasting, but not as clean tasting as a lot of lagers I'm used to. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like at the end, there's something there that makes me go,
a little more of an aftertaste. Like
yeah,
ale.
yeah, something there that like is like, to me, strikes ale and not lager. But I don't know.
I actually really like it.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Another recommendation from us. All right, well, let's move on to the next beer.
We got another beer named after a person.
Yeah, this is Commodore Perry India Pale Ale. So the IPA. I love the start of this description. It's just, what's this?
That's my thought.
It's a British style IPA named after a man who defeated His Majesty's Royal Navy in the War of 1812.
Nice.
Apparently that was a question. There's a question mark on the end of that. I don't understand.
Did he not?
Did he? I don't know. I'm terrible at history. Consider this a bold, hoppy, and mildly ironic plunder of war.
Huh. I like ironic beer.
I didn't know beer could be ironic.
Me either, but
But by God, we're doing it
it's
today.
a good thing. I mean,
All right. Well,
I want my beer to ask me questions.
it's pretty clear too.
It's very clear.
For an ale, that's very clear.
we have a theme. A very clear
Yeah, we've got
beer
clear
so far.
beers here tonight.
Yeah. It smells
Oh, very hoppy.
citrusy.
It smells,
Citrusy, hoppy.
smells like it's going to be like that tin foil, aluminum foil taste.
Yep, that would be the hops.
Oh, I love that smell. I used to hate the smell of
I
hops.
don't like it.
I like the smell of hops a lot more than I like the taste of hops.
Really? Well,
I'll agree- I'll
I
agree
get
with
that. I get that. That makes sense. Before I started brewing beer, I didn't really have an appreciation for them. But now that I'm doing it, I feel like I have
You
to
have a
have.
slightly better appreciation for them.
Yeah, because I know what they're like when I put them in the beer.
Gotcha.
Well,
I might like this more because I smell citrus. And
Okay.
Usually when I smell citrus with the hops, I like it a little better.
I'm with
Just
you.
Straight up like hops to the nose.
Yeah.
It's usually not my thing.
Not good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give it a try.
Okay.
Ooh.
No.
Are you glad I gave you a short pour there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very hoppy.
Yep. There's a ton of hops in there.
Obviously, IPA, but
I don't know how to describe this one.
Do you enjoy this? Would you just like?
I would drink one.
Okay.
I would drink one at a bar. Can't say that if I was at home, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm craving.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good because you might need to see a doctor if you really crave it.
yeah, it's okay, but it's definitely not my first choice.
Someone has to try to talk it up.
It's not bad.
There we go.
So if I went to a craft brewery and had this,
You would kind of expect it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And if I read 70 IBUs, I'd be like, okay, it's going to be a little bit better. They put quite a bit of hops in it.
Yeah.
I get that. But at the same time, it's not my go-to. We need to get somebody on here that's like super into IPAs.
There's something about
I feel like Craig would be really into
the
IPAs.
initial taste.
yeah.
that-
If you like the red stripe, he has to like some weird beers.
Where he does like weird beers. What was that, Greg? Sorry.
I feel like there's something about the initial taste of a hoppy beer that I kind of enjoy, but it's like the aftertaste
Right.
that I don't like.
Be like chewing on a hop. You'd like it at first, but then it'd be like, why am I doing this?
It's definitely my least favorite of the three so far.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same.
I kind of expected that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 5 out of 5 hops in that.
Yeah.
Dogfish Head makes a couple different beers that you would absolutely hate then.
Well, that's good.
Looking forward to that episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We'll get the 120-minute IPA. So the longer you boil hops, the more bitterness comes out. And so normally...
Naturally, someone had to go and boil them for days.
Yeah. Normally it's like an hour is what you boil for a beer, is kind of the standard that people go off of. There's some controversy with that, I guess. Some people like to boil for like 20 minutes and say, oh, that beer's done.
Be me. I'd be a 20-minute guy.
I usually stick to the 60-minute schedule just because it's easier.
Put them in like lukewarm water.
Nope,
boil.
that's bad. I don't recommend that. But
I feel like I'm a tea guy. Mm-hmm. So, like, I know if you leave tea in too long, your tea gets real bitter.
Right.
yeah,
and nasty,
exactly.
Right. And I know, like, for me, put the tea bag in, take it out after a couple minutes, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You leave it in longer than that, it gets
You
real
don't dip it a
nasty.
few
Yeah.
times.
And I think that, I don't know, the whole like IPA thing, leaving hops in for like 2 hours, it's kind of like just leaving your tea bag in. And
Right.
as you drink it, your tea just gets worse.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of like the same concept. I mean, scientifically it works a little different, but same concept. And I think when Dogfish Head did it, they were like new. This was the new thing to do, was craft beer.
Right.
And and they invented this thing called continual hopping. And you remember the old football game, like that vibrated and it had the magnetic football players that ran across the thing?
Yeah.
That's what they used. They put a bunch of hops on there.
I thought you were going to say just put a bunch of little football players in.
No, they loaded that up with hops and tilted it and let it go. And when they boiled, it just dropped hops in every once in a while. And they did it for 60 minutes and realized that, hey, that's pretty good. So naturally, you go for 120 minutes eventually.
Yeah.
They do a 60, a 90, I think 120. I think those are the only three that they do. And the 60 is kind of like their main staple IPA.
I would be happy if people took their hops out sooner. That's
So,
just me.
okay, so that's the weird thing is hop additions, the later the hop addition is, the better. So when you start a boil and you put it in right there, boil it for 60 minutes, you will get bitter hops. But if you start the boil it, and then at 15 minutes you put it in, you'll get more of like the taste and the aroma than the bitterness, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's this thing called dry hopping, which we probably won't get into. But
Save that for the scientists.
yeah, it's essentially just putting hops in a keg after your beer's done fermenting for a while, or putting it in while it's in secondary fermentation. I'm gonna shut up now because I'm sure
the next episode of Jack Talks About Brewing.
Because I'm sure people are like really done listening to me. But anyways,
So Commodore Perry IPA.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. I'm sure people that like IPAs will like it.
yep, I agree with that statement.
That's my take.
That's it. Oh, we better read the label.
Beer number 3 or 4. I can count.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. Edmund Fitzgerald Porter. A robust. I love how every time you read a
Always
description
robust.
for a porter, it's a robust porter.
Dude, everything's robust. It's just a buzzword. It's fine.
It's a robust and complex. Our porter is a bittersweet tribute to the legendary freighter's fallen crew. I didn't even know Edmund Fitzgerald was a freighter.
Yeah, it's named after a person and a boat. It's named after a boat that was named after a person. I don't know.
I guess it was taken too soon when the gales of November came early.
Yeah, I think it was Lake Superior.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know
It was
anything.
in Lake Superior.
Cool.
You know more about stuff like that than I do. I don't know anything.
This is the first beer.
I think there was a song wrote about it, and that's the only reason I know that it was Lake
Yeah,
Superior.
there's a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first beer out of the 4 that I cannot see through.
Oh,
No,
no,
you
not
can't
even
see
close.
through it.
Very dark.
Even if you put your eye Google right up to it, you can't see through it.
Your eye Google. I like that. So like when you put it out the window and look at the light through it, you can kind of see like through the sides a little bit,
Yeah.
like a dark
yeah.
red.
Dark red.
Test nose?
Oh, I love those toasty characteristics. I love when they use chocolate malts like
It
this.
reminds me, the smell always reminds me of chocolate.
Chocolate coffee, like those
Yeah.
I
dark,
get coffee. I get a coffee vibe from it.
almost burnt toast kind of.
Yeah. Like you're making a pot of coffee and you burn some toast next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think you got to make the coffee. I think you could just burn the toast.
No, there's some coffee in there.
Oh, you meant in the whole. Okay, never
Yeah, they're
mind.
both there at the same
I'm like, burnt toast smells the same the whole time. I don't think it matters what's next to it.
Yeah, you're just making some spaghetti and you burn some toast and then you got some coffee going on.
Why are you making toast when you're making spaghetti?
I don't know. I was planning on having garlic bread, but I only had toast.
So you decided to make toast and then put garlic powder on it?
Yeah.
Have some toasted bread with garlic.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Dip that in your spaghetti.
All right, let's drink this before it gets bad.
Give it a try.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. It's not
Oh,
bad.
you don't like it? Oh, you don't mind it?
No, it's pretty good.
A little bit of coffee in the flavor.
A little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely some burnt toast in there.
Oh yeah.
I actually kind of like it. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then I think you'll probably like Guinness then.
Okay.
We learned during one of our intermissions that Kyle has not ever had Guinness.
No,
so
never had a Guinness.
Next episode, we'll get a Guinness in addition to whatever else we're drinking.
Absolutely. Oh man,
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
The taste lingers around for a little too much longer than I'd like, but
That's when you get into porters and stouts like that,
yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
See, I like the aftertaste of this. Like, it's a lot different from the hoppy aftertaste like the IPA. This is like a pleasant, mellow aftertaste
Right.
that I'm a fan of.
Well, like the only thing that bothers me about the aftertaste is I know if like I just drink this and I don't drink anything else for like another hour, that taste is still going to be in my mouth.
Right.
Yeah, is it fair to say a little bit of a smoky taste?
Yeah, a little bit. Little smoke.
Yeah, like you were burning your toast and then you inhaled some of the smoke while you were eating the toast.
Yeah, burnt toast
Yeah.
smoke.
Yeah.
Burnt toast smoke.
Yep.
I like that.
It's burnt toast smoke. That's exactly what this
Oh
tastes
man,
like.
that's
Toast, smoke, and coffee.
I like that.
Yeah, there is a hint of coffee there. It's like you burnt your toast, you inhaled it from the toaster, dipped it in your coffee, and then took a bite.
Yeah. It's all
Yeah.
like that.
Honestly,
I really like it.
yeah, not very heavy. But honestly, that sounds like that would be a terrible taste.
Oh yeah, it probably would be.
But in a beer, It's fantastic.
Surprisingly pleasant.
The feeling, I imagine just a feeling of biting into a soggy piece of burnt toast would be pretty terrible.
I agree. It would be bad.
Isn't it funny how you describe beer flavors?
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, oh yeah, burnt toast. And, you know,
That'd be
if you told
terrible.
anyone that food tasted like burnt toast, they'd be like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't want
You're
that.
like, oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
I think beer is just one of those things that, like, disgusting things can be in it. Like, I listen to a beer podcast called The Beerists, and they'll describe some beers of tasting like horse blanket.
Oh.
And it sounds disgusting. But at the same time, it's like, that's probably what that beer tastes like, and it's probably all right.
See, I think the grossest thing I've ever described a beer as tasting like is I've had like some IPAs that I've described as tasting like pine needles.
Oh yeah. Been
And
there.
That's kind of gross, but like it's okay.
It's okay.
sometimes.
Yeah. When it's on nitro, ooh, that's the way to drink at.
Nitro pine needles.
Oh yeah, nitro pine needles.
Nice.
Um,
Can you make an IPA nitro? Call it like nitro Christmas tree, something like that.
oh, let's make that. Let's do a brew day where we just record it and we'll make that. That would be fun. That would be fun.
You guys like it?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
I'm for it.
You're for it. I would have never guessed you'd have been for this.
I actually like it.
Well, I tell you what. We're gonna drink a lot more stouts and a lot more.
Oh, I'm down to try the stout. I feel like we got to move on now. You're gonna have a ton of recording.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Now, what are we on to? The play section.
Oh God.
Oh man. Okay, so last episode, as a recap, we covered our 10 through 6 out of our top 10 games, and this episode we're gonna cover.
Oh, where did my notes go?
We're gonna cover 5 through 1. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, dude. This was hard. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like
I'm making it right now.
just in the last week, my list has changed. There was a game that straight up got cut from my top 10.
Oh,
And it was like number 4, and it ended up
Wow.
just getting cut.
no
I
way.
went back and played it, and I was like, actually, I don't love it that much.
Isn't that weird how the memory of something can be better than how the actual thing is?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's nostalgia,
Yeah.
but some of the games that are, for me, on my list that are nostalgic, I feel like still would stand up. Like, I can go back today and play them, but the one that got cut, yeah.
Yes, nostalgia definitely played a role.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's totally valid. though.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even if it's not a game you would go back to and like play for 100 hours now, like
Absolutely.
those memories that you have are really important.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I kicked us off last time. So, Kyle, why don't you kick us off this time, and then we'll go you, Greg, me.
Sure.
Cool.
So my number 5 is going to be Forza Motorsports 3.
Ooh.
I spent a ton of time playing this game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just so many memories there. I used to go to this place we had in Grove City called the Teen Center.
Yeah.
And that's a game I play there all the time till my mom got off work when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And I would just play this game for like hours and just keep modifying different cars, and it really got me into doing things with cars today, and
That's awesome,
it's a lot
man.
of fun.
Yeah. It's great.
Man, I mean, games like that, you'll never forget.
No.
No, that's cool.
Just the impact it made on my life, just getting into cars and stuff.
Yeah, dude. And the Forza games are great. Like,
Yeah.
they have cars that range from like real crazy stuff.
And that's what I love about it. Like you can just take
everyday car.
Yeah,
you know?
you can just take a real simple car and just make it awesome.
Yeah.
Or you can start with an awesome car and just make it better.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, my number 5 is the Stanley Parable.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it's some people might dispute like, oh, it's not a game, it's a walking simulator, whatever. You know, I studied philosophy in college, so the whole meta aspect of the Stanley Parable, and this narrator that talks to you and kind of tells you what to do, and I don't know, I I really enjoyed it. If you haven't played it, there's a demo on Steam for free. Check it out. It's a pretty cheap game. I really enjoyed it.
Do you know it started off as a Half-Life mod?
I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, like, once you see it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. I love that game. It didn't make my list, but I love that game.
Yeah, it's real good.
It makes you think.
Yeah, it's one of those games that, like, I think I have, like, maybe 8 hours in it on Steam. And, like, you play it through, you find all the different endings.
Right.
And eventually, I would love to go back to it. But I'm kind of waiting for my memory to fade a little. You know, before, so I can, like, forget.
Did you find all the endings?
I think so.
Nice. I don't think I did. I mean, I might have, but I don't think I did.
Yeah, no, it's a good game.
It is a good game. Well, my number 5, and like I said last time, this is kind of like where my list takes a turn. This is Modern Warfare 2. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad. A lot of people.
Dude, yeah.
I loved that game. Every once in a while, I'll install it on Steam and play it for like days. So, a lot of people are mad about the game. I get that. I get that there's a lot of imbalances in the game. But I have so many fond memories of playing that.
Yeah, dude. I remember playing that on 360 with you and like a bunch of other people. Yeah. Like just getting a big group of friends.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I mean that was it. I mean those were the days.
Coming to like get off the bus and everybody's bragging about their kill streaks.
It's true.
That was the first Call of Duty game I ever really got into. Like, I went hard. Modern Warfare 2 online.
Everyone did.
Like that first time you earn a nuke,
right?
You're just like, dude, I made it. Like, 7th grade me, just like, dude, I made it. 25 kill streak, calling it a nuke. I won the game.
I never got a nuke.
Oh,
I didn't either.
I tell you what though, that was the game that made me want to get an Xbox.
Nice.
That was it. And so I got it, and then, well, I'm not going to give away the rest of my list. So yes, that was one of the reasons I got a 360.
Very good. All right, my number 4 is going to be The Long Dark.
Ooh, I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So The Long Dark is a survival game. Essentially, you're just dropped in the Canadian wilderness in the middle of winter, and it's just how long can you survive? And if you play in the hardest mode, it's not very long. The elements will kill you. The wildlife will kill you. Everything wants to kill you. The game does not want you to live. It is going to do everything in its power to make sure you freeze to death, starve to death, get eaten by something, fall and die. It doesn't matter. But I just love the challenge the game presents, and I just like to see how long I can last. In the hardest mode, so far, I made it 2 days and 16 hours, which I'm okay with. But
yeah, dude, there's something about those like really hard games that like, you know, you make it 2 days and you die, and you're like, dude, I can do better next time. And you just keep playing again and again and again. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, you and I sat at Chili's one day, and that's like all we talked about was that game.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Nice. So my number 4 is Deus Ex Human Revolution. So I played the director's cut. I know that's a little different from the original because they like changed a couple things, like made the boss fights a little better, whatever. I played like a little bit of the original, and then they came out with the director's cut, and I was like, I might as well just play the director's cut.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a really cool game. I like how you can kind of seamlessly switch between like third person and first person. It's a real good like stealth element. Like I love any game where you can stealth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's how I played all the Call of Duty games. Like, I just want to sneak around with the silencer and like drop people when they're not looking, you know. So Deus Ex, like, I love being able to. You could like taser people. You had like a sniper rifle that shot like sleeping darts. That was really cool. But the whole story about like human augmentation and like the cyberpunk setting was really engaging for me.
Yeah, that stuff's always pretty cool.
I love that. Yeah.
My number 4 is Halo 3.
Nice.
And this was the game that I found once I had a 360. I mean, once I had it and I got this game, I didn't want to do anything else. That was it.
Yep.
That was my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted to make maps and play.
Those custom battles were addictive.
That was it. I mean, I know we touched on it last episode, but all online play for me was that game. That was it.
Yeah.
I lived for those Mondays that we had off of school where we all just got online and played all day long.
Yeah.
That was it. And I know the Master Chief Collection's coming to PC, and I cannot wait.
It's gonna be a good time.
Because that's all we're going to do. We're going to have a LAN
what
party.
Does that include?
So it includes Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4. And then they're doing ODST.
Yes.
And then they're doing Reach as well.
Okay.
I unabashedly loved ODST. Like, firefight mode was one of my favorite things. Because just taking all the fun of Halo and playing with your friends and having that, like, horde mode kind of thing with firefight was so much fun.
Oh, absolutely.
I love horde modes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
There's something about you and three of your closest friends just like
Yeah.
fighting off wave after wave of increasingly difficult enemy.
that's it.
It's
That's
so much
it.
fun.
I mean, that's why we got into zombies so
Yeah,
much.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Call of Duty Zombies, I mean, love it or hate it. I mean, the last couple versions haven't been amazing. But
I just remember War Zombies
Yep.
was like the greatest thing
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
You could just play that for hours.
Yeah.
I think the peak was like Black Ops 1 Zombies. And we played so much, and we like get to like level 34 and think we're like, oh, we're the coolest people in the world. Nobody else can beat us.
Dude, honestly, taking it back to Halo 3.
No, yeah, no.
I had the best memories playing ODST.
Oh, yeah.
And like, so you know how like Halo 3 they had map packs, and then if you got ODST, you got all the maps. So I just had the base game of Halo 3. I never bought the DLC. And Halo 3 came out, and ODST came out, and I got the map packs with that for Halo 3. And then I had, what was the map
Which one?
that came with the pack that everybody made? It was Sandbox. Yeah.
Oh, Sandbox.
Oh, I had never had Sandbox before.
Yeah.
Because I never paid for the map pack, and then I got ODST.
Yeah, and then it
Sandbox,
came with it. Yeah. That was the way I got the DLC maps as well. Sandbox, I remember as soon as I got that map, I'm like, this is it. This is it. This is all the games I'd ever want to play ever.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. With some
Yeah.
good custom maps on that, too.
Absolutely.
It was a good time.
I'll be interested to see what it's like on PC. Hopefully it's a good port. I don't know. We do, for those of you who don't know, we do LAN parties a lot. At least once a year. And
We do them a lot, at least once a year.
like, well,
But
you
for the
remember
last, like 10 years.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
I remember in high school we'd do one like every month.
Yeah.
I mean, we did it all the time.
Because we didn't have jobs, we just had free
I know.
time.
We just did
It's like,
that.
we have a weekend, let's just do a LAN party.
Absolutely, and that's all we do.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to us playing Halo
Yeah.
at one of those things.
That's
I think
good.
I think it's gonna be great.
That would be great, dude.
So
My number 3 is going to be Battle Stations Midway.
I don't know that one.
It's an Xbox game,
Okay.
but this is the game that really got me into military history, and I just loved the game so much. It was like the first game I really got into naval combat. It was
Yeah.
just so cool. I mean, just the Pacific Theater, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And the online modes were really easy to cheat in. And that was the first game I really started cheating in. And I remember specifically, I was going up against one guy, and there was this one map you could just keep spawning battleship after battleship if you hit the right buttons. And I just kept doing that, and dude was like, "Come on, man, you're gonna like actually play the game or just cheat all the time?" I was like, "I think I'll just cheat all the time and win this."
That's amazing.
That's great. So my number 3, this is a game that I just recently when I was revising my list made it on here.
Yep.
But Stardew Valley. So like it's real chill, like farming game. You plant crops, you meet the townspeople and befriend them. You can like go down to the mines and fight monsters, like Zelda kind of style combat. Just swing your sword over and over again. You know, you can fish. it takes all the best elements from a lot of games that like I'm a fan of from my childhood, like Animal Crossing I played a lot of, and you know those kind of games, like various farming kind of games, and puts them all together in this really fun, satisfying, chill game. Like it's made by one dude.
Oh wow.
And like the sprite work is great. All the mechanics with like the sound effects, like so satisfying. Like catching a fish to planting and picking your crops, like selling them and racking up a ton of money. Like my current game that I played is like 70 some hours, and I grow hops.
Oh yeah.
Turn them into pale ale.
Yes.
That's my farm.
That's the way to be.
Yeah, it's a great game.
You don't have a farm, you have a brewery.
Yeah. Okay. I have a farm and a brewery.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's really good. Like very calm, laid back game, but it's a lot of fun.
I had a professor in college who came in after like Christmas break. It was like all I did was play Stardew Valley.
Yeah, it's a really good game. Like, be warned, if you get sucked into it, you'll just keep playing like day after day after day after day in game. And like each day is only like maybe half an hour, but it goes on and on. And before you know it, you've been sat at your computer and it's like 2 a.m. and you're like, I need to go to bed. So it might eat up all your time, but it's a great game.
That'll do it. Well, my number 3 is probably the first game that I ever got excited about a release. Like, I never knew like what hype was until this game. It's the James Bond game, Everything or Nothing.
Oh, dude.
Do you remember when it came out? You and I had a sleepover that night, and that's all we did was play that game.
Dude, I have this memory burned in my brain of playing there's like a train
Yep.
Yeah,
With when you're riding the motorcycle.
Yeah,
that's it.
You have like this sweet motorcycle that has like flamethrowers that shoot out the side and like machine guns or something, and
That's
like
great.
You're just chasing after this train. I remember playing that level
over and over because we were terrible at it. But at first, like the level points you to this SUV to get in. And then all of a sudden we decided to go the other way and we're like, oh, there's a motorcycle?
Yeah, way cooler than the SUV. Get the motorcycle flamethrowers.
Oh, it was awesome. Honestly, it was such a fun game. I don't know if I think I did beat it. I don't know. I think it was eventually. There was a bunch of levels to that game. I mean, it was a long game.
I seriously considered putting a James Bond game.
Yeah.
Because quite a few of those were like very prominent first-person shooter memories for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was the one that, like, I know people are going to be mad because Nightfire didn't make the list.
Yeah, dude, Nightfire. Good times.
But Everything or Nothing was, in my opinion, a better game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that memory. Like, when you
that's
see
it.
James Bond games playing that level.
Yep, that's it. It's the same memory for me.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Number 2 is going to be Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh,
Yes.
On the original Nintendo.
oh my.
The only reason I had access to this game is because my grandma only had a Nintendo and Super Mario Brothers 2. And it was the first video game I ever remember caring about, and I would play it all the time. Anytime I was over at her house, I would just be playing Super Mario Brothers 2.
That's amazing.
And it was such a good time. Me and my brother would just go back and forth. We'd watch each other play it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we ever beat the game. But we played it for hours and hours on end.
That's awesome, man.
Great.
Super Mario Brothers 2. I love that it was just a different game in Japan. like in Japan, they're like, Americans don't understand how to play this game. Let's just take this other game, change the sprites, and send it over to America and say that that's what this is.
Great time.
Those Mario games, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So my number 2, this game is the reason that I got a GameCube, which is probably still one of, if not my favorite consoles of all time.
right.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh yeah,
Another Mario game. Yeah.
I got the GameCube bundled with 2 controllers and Mario Kart Double Dash. Silver GameCube.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Dude, that game. Like, I had played other racing games. I'd played other Mario Kart games, but Double Dash, like. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't that good at it. I think eventually I beat all the 150cc like races, whatever. But it was just so much fun. Like,
oh yeah,
having 2 characters, had all these cars all the different carts you could choose from, like new and classic Mario Kart tracks, all the power ups.
Oh yeah,
like there's something about, you know, you mess up, you're in 7th place, but you get a blue shell, and you're like, dude, that guy in 1st place, he's going down.
Yep, that's it. I remember that birthday party like it was yesterday. I mean, I remember all of us sitting down. The DK Mountain or whatever the level was called.
Big old cannon.
Yeah, I remember shooting out of that and going, "This is the coolest thing ever. It doesn't get better than this."
Yeah, you're like, dude, this game is so much fun.
Yeah, that was, man. There was a lot of people at that party.
Yeah, that was like my thing. Like every year, just like let's invite everyone I know.
Right.
We'll all play video games.
Oh, that was awesome. My number 2 is Gary's mod.
Oh yeah.
I just for the sheer fun at LAN parties we had, Gary's mod is way up there for me. It was because there's so many different things you can do in it, and the amount of times we played prop hunt.
Oh, that was my favorite.
Murder, Trouble in Terrorist Town.
Yep.
I mean, all of those. Well, you and I played Zombie Survival a couple times. We played a bunch of different ones.
And it still comes up at every LAN party.
Absolutely, because it's like everybody has this.
Yeah.
It runs on basically anything right now, so...
There's something great about, like, you're a couple games in, you're like, let's play Trouble in Terrorist Town.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, are you a terrorist? And they're like, no. They're like, I don't even care. And you just murder them.
Like, there's nothing to be said more about not trusting your friends. You're like, oh no, you're a terrorist. I know you are.
I always love to do the little laugh, like, I'm not a terrorist. And then someone kills me and they're just blinded.
I remember the one time we were playing murder. I would always run up to people, even if I wasn't the murderer. And people would be like, quit running up to me. I hate it.
Freaking me out, man. Stop it. Oh, man. Now
Going to number one.
Number one. All right, here we go.
Number 1 for me is going to be War Thunder.
Oh.
I play this game all the time still. This is the game I always go to when I'm just trying to wind down after work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's just a realistic, like, tanks, planes, ships, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And it all combines and it overlaps all the time.
That's cool.
But I just love the realism about it. It makes me just want to throw water bottles at the wall, and it also makes me want to keep playing time after time.
Nice.
I think I've played it a couple times.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool game. It really is. That's neat.
So this was a struggle, but number 1 game for me, Pokemon Emerald. I spent literally hundreds of hours playing Pokemon Emerald. I still have my original Emerald cartridge, like, at home. And I remember, like, training up all my Pokemon, and the first time I beat the Elite Four, I was actually in Hawaii on vacation.
Oh, wow.
And I took my Pokemon Emerald cartridge with me. Playing that game, beating the Elite Four for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, that was a feeling. And then continuing to want to play after that, like, I would just raise different Pokemon and go through the Elite Four over and over again. But I don't know, for me, there's something about, like, the Game Boy Advance, like the 3rd gen of Pokemon, Emerald, having Rayquaza, it's, like, really sweet. But yeah, I kind of struggled with, like, I thought about putting the 3DS remakes.
Right.
I got Omega Ruby and I love that. But I think the nostalgia for the OG like Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
Great.
That's such a fun game.
That's pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Once a year, I usually download it onto one of my PCs and I play it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have put the Oregon Trail on my list.
Yeah.
I downloaded that game and played all the time.
Spoiled Jack's number one.
That's it. My number one was the Oregon Trail. No.
We can have an honorable mentions afterwards.
We
if you guys want.
can. We can. And maybe we'll do that in another episode because
Yeah.
we're going to have other people.
Yeah,
But my number one is, and it's strictly out of nostalgia, was the first game I ever beat. Was Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped.
Yeah.
I loved this game. This was the first video game I even had. My parents bought me a PlayStation for my birthday, and this was the
Nice.
game.
PlayStation.
Solid.
Yeah, I played this for hours, hours, and in 2017, when they came out with the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy,
I remember.
I bought a PlayStation 4 to play that game.
Yep.
I didn't own a PlayStation before that. I was strictly PC gamer, but I thought I need to play that right now. And I did, and I beat the whole game in like a day.
Nice.
Like the Crash 3 portion.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the other ones.
Yeah.
All right.
We did it.
We did it. Moving on to the watch section. Is there anything that you guys been watching lately?
I'm still on the same stuff I was on last week. Still watching Designated Survivor.
Yep.
So last week I mentioned John Wick, and I watched John Wick Chapter 2 just recently, and I really liked it. I don't know, because after you watch John Wick 1, you're like, it doesn't really need a sequel. Like, it's perfectly fine as a standalone. Like, it's a great standalone movie, but the second movie makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And I'm really glad they didn't just do the like revenge thing again. Because in the first movie, he's very much motivated by revenge. In the second movie, it's like John Wick has to deal with the consequences of returning to the world of crime and violence. And it was really compelling. I don't know that it was quite as like visually engaging through most of the movie, because you think about the first John Wick, like the nightclub sequence,
That's one everybody goes to.
like most of the second movie doesn't quite reach those heights until he gets to the end with like the mirror thing, I forget, it's like an art exhibit consisting entirely of mirrors, and that was really awesome. And Lawrence Fishburne makes an appearance, so that was cool, seeing him with Keanu Reeves, on screen together again. But yeah, it was really good.
That's cool.
And I also saw Hell or High Water.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, for the first time. So I bought it because it was like $5 for Blueray.
Oh, wow.
And I was
Okay.
like, dude, that sounds good. I've heard good things. I like Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And Josh Brolin. So, I got it, popped it in the other day, and it was good.
Yeah, it's a good. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
I really enjoyed it.
So lately, I haven't been watching a ton of new stuff. Been watching episodes on The Office on Netflix.
Yeah, Office is always good.
Yeah, just because it's one that I can have on in the background and keep going. Then I've also been rewatching Boston Legal, just because that's a great show. And a lot of people, when you watch The Office and you see Robert California, a lot of people don't like his character. But if you watch, because it's the same actor who plays Alan Shore in Boston Legal, if you watch him in Boston Legal and then watch him again in The Office,
He's the same
He is the same character. He is exactly the same.
Exactly how I want him.
Yeah, and you're just keep expecting William Shatner to come out of the next room and be like, Denny Crane. Like, that's what you're...
Denny Crane.
Denny Crane. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we've been watching lately. So, anything else to add before we go?
No, I'm good. Denny Crane.
Okay, I'm gonna add a real quick. If you guys had to pick favorite Keanu Reeves movie, it's been a bit of a theme for me with the John Wicks.
Yeah. Because, like, that's not even fair. Because you got Point Break, you got The Matrix,
Speed.
Speed. Oh, I forgot he was in Speed.
Yeah, dude.
It's tough.
It's tough. I don't know.
I'm just gonna go recent and go with John Wick.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
It's
Because
just fresh there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen the third one yet.
yeah, dude. I'm excited to.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love The Matrix, I feel like John Wick is just setting the standard for action movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, if I go back and watch, like, and, like, I love them, but, like, go back and watch one of the Bourne movies and, like, see that shaky cam going on, like, I don't know if I'm going to love it as much as I used to.
You will. Because I
still
just
really love
rewatched
the Bourne
those.
movies.
I rewatched those the other day, and you'll still like it.
I still
Okay.
really love
So,
the Bourne movies.
so there's a difference between shaky cam and the shaky cam used in the Bourne movies.
Good
so-
shaky cam.
Exactly.
And bad
Okay,
shaky.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
When you see a guy use a rolled up newspaper as a weapon, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. So you got the Bourne movies, and then I love James Bond. Don't get me wrong. My favorite series. But then you got Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
And the shaky cam and Quantum of Solace, you can't even tell what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hear complain about a lot in the Bourne movies.
Yeah.
But
But you can still see what's
Yeah.
going on.
No, that's the. I guess Bourne movies was a bad example because in
I
the
think
Bourne
it's not
movies
so much
it's
the
really
shaky
well
cam.
done. Shaky
Right.
cam, like
Yeah.
it's for a purpose. You can still tell what's going on.
Yeah.
you know.
I think it's not so much the shaky cam in the Bourne movies where people can't tell what's going on. It's how quickly things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like
There
pretty
is.
quick cuts sometimes.
Yeah, there can be quick cuts.
but
I'm
I, don't,
with
I
you.
guess what my point is, the John Wick movies are just making me want like long take,
Yeah, I know what you're saying about
Yeah.
real in camera action.
Right.
You
Right.
know? And I feel like I might miss that in other movies.
Well, and I think cinema's headed that way.
Dude, I hope so.
I think so. The Kingsman is one that comes to mind. That
Okay,
was the
yeah.
start
I
of
love
kind of
that.
that. Just kind of like the same take, but the camera moves so much that you feel like it's
Yeah.
cuts.
The first like 15 minutes
Yeah.
of that movie is all one take.
Exactly.
I love it.
And then you also got movies like the newest Mad Max.
oh, yes.
That was a lot of practical effects, a lot of in-camera things happened. Which, I mean, a lot of the movie, like 80% of it, I think, was practical and 20% was CGI.
And 4 words were spoken.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like the originals, and I love it.
But it's still one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it was great. But now you got like John Wick, where it's all long takes. Things aren't, you know, cut up anymore. Like the example of James Bond, the Quantum of Solace was shaky, cut up. You had no idea that it was a car chase even in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like until
That's so
halfway
true.
through
That
it.
Rough.
But then the opening of Spectre was a one take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, not all of it, but most of it.
Right.
So
Long takes.
I think people are kind of changing what they want in cinema. I think people saw the Bourne movies and went, okay, now we just gotta like shake the camera a whole bunch, and that's what
Yeah.
what people want.
took the wrong lessons.
Yeah.
From the
Yes,
Bourne
they
movies,
did.
Unfortunately.
And that's kind of like found footage movies was like during that time as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wanted it to look like
All shaky and real,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
first person filming it. Stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think cinema's getting away from that.
Dude, I hope so. I really hope that filmmakers take from John Wick, one, like, you don't have to shake the camera. You can show us what's going on in long takes, and
Yeah.
people will love it. Mm-hmm. Like, focus more on composing really nice shots
Right.
and following your actors through their action versus quick cuts and shaky camera, which, you know, sometimes it works, like the Bourne movies.
Right.
And the other thing I really hope that filmmakers take from the Bourne movies, or not the Bourne movies, sorry, the John Wick movies, is the subtle visual storytelling and world building.
Yeah.
Like with the coins,
Yep.
the markers. Like, sure, they have that scene that people might say, oh, there's exposition here. You know, they're talking about the markers and the blood oath. But, like, you get the idea from these really strong, like, visual symbols. Of
Right.
This little pocket watch thing that pops open, has a needle that, you know, they stick their finger on and leave their thumbprint in blood.
Right.
Like,
You
we
just
need
see
more
it.
of that. The visual storytelling. Like, sure,
Yeah.
Right.
if you want to do it like John Wick, like you can talk about it. You can have the characters explain it. That's totally fine. But like, we need more of that subtle,
Yeah,
that
I
subtlety,
agree.
that world building.
Show, don't tell kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna have dialogue, have dialogue.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I love a movie, even if you have to rewatch it like 3 times to find out exactly what happened. If they're just slowly, subtly showing you what's happening, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best when you like every review, like every
You
time you
discover
see it
something
again,
different.
you find something new.
Yeah.
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 That's great.
It is cool. Yeah. And it's, the other thing I think cinema's getting away from is like, for a while they had this idea of more explosions and less story. I think they had just done action just to do it, and I know the John Wick movies fall into that.
But the story's so good though.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's the story of a hitman, but it's a good, compelling story.
right? No, I know, but I mean, at the same time, it's not the deepest story in
Yeah,
the
it's
world.
true. Like, yeah, I'm not like getting any deep philosophical.
No,
insights
Yeah.
from John Wick,
no.
but, like,
Nor should you. It's not what the movie's about.
Great filmmaking, and
Right.
you can get some deeper themes about, you know, like you can't escape that world of violence and crime once you're in it.
Right.
You know, it pulls you back in, and
Yep.
I've seen a lot of movies that deal with that theme,
It's just like the theme of Scarface.
but yeah, there are a lot of movies that deal with that theme, but not many that do it so well.
Right. I think. I don't know. I think that things are just starting to come back to real movies now.
Yeah.
We went through a stage there where, like, I didn't want to go to the movies because
No.
I felt like I was going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I think that they thought, oh, we'll just dump a bunch of money into these special effects, and that's what people want.
Like
they don't
all the
care.
Fast and Furious movies.
Right,
I mean,
right.
like Rip Paul Walker. He was an awesome dude. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's it. I think people miss the step of why are these characters doing
and
what
they're
they're
making
doing.
another Fast and Furious
Are they
too.
really?
Yeah, it's called
Oh, is it the Hobbs and
Yeah, Hobbs and
yeah,
Spin-off movie.
yeah.
I was like, come on, dude, just let it go. Just let it go with Paul.
They need to.
But you know, at the same time, we've had movies like The Fast and the Furious, which is like if you enjoy them, like that's fine. It's just not really my thing, you know.
Yeah.
But and like the Transformers movies, like
Like
whatever.
the first 1, 2, and 3 were like actually decent movies, and then like I don't know what happened after that. They were like robotic dinosaurs and
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't get
here,
it.
guys?
But you know, we've had some filmmakers going that way, and
Yeah.
then we've had, you know, Mad Max Fury Road, which
Awesome.
is one of my favorite
Awesome.
movies ever made.
And we made the joke of 4 words were spoken, but there was a story there.
There
Yeah.
was. It was a great story.
It was-
a visual storytelling masterpiece.
And
It
if
was
you
like-
watch the originals and you love them, and then you watch that one, you're like, it makes so much sense.
Right, exactly. Unlike a lot of the other movies.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Just things like that I don't know. I think we're finally getting people in Hollywood that want to make good movies
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
Not that there weren't people there before. I mean, Steven Spielberg was still making movies. Quentin Tarantino was still making movies, which I cannot wait for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great movie.
But there are some incredible filmmakers. Like I love Edgar Wright. Mm-hmm. It's made Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz,
Yeah.
The World's End, Baby Driver, and like I'm
I really
excited
wanted to see that
what
movie,
he
but I
does
never
next.
saw it. Baby
I
Driver.
highly recommend it. Like it's it's really good. We got Edgar Wright making amazing films. We got the guys that did the John Wick movies. Who, like, I'm really excited both to see. I haven't seen the third one. I'm excited for it. But if they make more John Wick movies, or if they go on to make a new series, like new movies, there's hope for action cinema.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, and there's people there now that drive action for a reason. It's not just for no reason. That's I think, to me, that's what makes the movie is, why are these characters doing this?
Yes.
Why are they doing this? That's why I love the show Ray Donovan, because they always show why they're doing stuff. They're never just violent just to be violent.
Yeah,
you know,
show me people that have a reason to do what they're doing.
Right. Exactly.
Like, you can cram all the action set pieces you want, but like, you got to give me that kernel of a story.
Yeah.
That's it. Cool. Well, I think this has been an awesome end to an episode.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But real quick, what are we doing for next episode for like gaming and stuff? Because we did our top 10.
We
What
did
are
our
doing
top
next?
10.
We can hit up our honorable mentions.
Yeah, we'll
could
probably
do that.
we'll do honorable mentions. Really pay attention to what games are coming out, what you're interested in, that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about what we've been playing lately.
Yeah.
I know it probably won't change much, but yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
So that's
Be back
it.
with more beer, more games, and more stuff. More movies.
More movies and TV.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. You guys have a good one.
See you later.
See ya.